So a big issue I've had growing up, a huge insecurity of mine, was my breasts. My breasts, since a young age, just never grew in a way that I was comfortable with. I remember finally growing breasts at around age 9.5, 10. And when they did come in, they were little triangles. They never grew out, they grew down. Pendulous boobs. And due to family traits, they grew into very large boobs. Growing up, I just had the worst relationship with my breasts. I felt so insecure. I felt really large. I felt much older than my age because of the size of my breasts. I just knew from a very young age that I hated what was on my chest. Now, funnily enough, me growing breasts at age 10 coincided with the age that my parents ended up having a divorce, and I got larger at that age. That was the age that everything started with my weight battle. At age 10, it was just downhill as far as poor relationship with food, eating for food trauma, eating my feelings, and not discussing why I have this poor relationship with food. Food was a comfort. Food reminded me of my parents. Food is what just tried to comfort me during a really traumatic time in my young life. And that's how I ended up gaining weight. So also when I gained weight, my breasts got even bigger. So imagine at age 16, 17 at prom, when young girls are wearing these really cute dresses, and I was like, where's the duct tape? That didn't really work for me though, because I was also very sweaty. So fast forward to around 2015, I was pregnant with my first son. My breasts were massive. I reached up to a 38H, and my breasts were so filled with milk. I had milk for days, which was a blessing. I breastfed my first son until like 3 years old. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He was about 3 years old. I don't know why that's so funny, because I tell people and they're like, you're sicko. Breast milk is good for the baby, why not? But 3 years old was the cutoff. Like, okay, bro, you need to get off me. I had to take a long time in order to finally start losing weight, because I had to be conscious of my breast milk supply and making sure I'm not doing anything detrimental to my breast milk that'll harm him. And so when I was finally able to start losing weight, I turned to intermittent fasting. I did the 16-8 protocol, which was skipping breakfast primarily for me. And I had an 8-hour window of eating, and I was able to lose around 40 pounds within a 8 to a year span. I was really happy with how I was looking, how I was feeling, but I still had these really large breasts that were now deflated. And I was 26, 27 at that time, where I had deflated breasts, a time where a woman is supposed to be most jubilant, most confident, most happy with her body. I was sick of my body. I hated my breasts out of the bra. I had what I deemed granny boobs. I had a lot of excess skin because of the way my breasts grew in pendulums instead of like combs. They were just heavy, they swung, and there was no elasticity. And that's also a hereditary thing on my mom's side. Her side of the family naturally has what I deem thin skin. The elasticity is not all the way there, and that's why I like preach on collagen for me. My youngest son also has mushy skin, so he has something to look forward to. I had these breasts that I just hated. I hated my breasts. All I wanted to do, I remember telling my sister, like, all I want to do, get surgery. That's all I want to do. I just wanted nothing to do with these things that are on my chest. I would rather be flat as a board than have things that cause me so much shame as a woman. I was so ashamed of my breasts. I didn't want to take off my breasts during intimacy. I didn't want to wear bathing suits. I couldn't wear cute bras. I didn't wear bralettes. I didn't wear cute tops. Everything I wore had to have a bra, and my sizes never really came in cute designs and colors. All my bras were expensive because I had such a heavy chest. It was just really expensive, really frustrating, really annoying, defeminizing for me. I felt so unyouthful. Fast forward again to the summer of 2018. I began going to physical therapy. I told my primary physician at that time, like, doctor, look at my breasts. I am so unhappy as a woman, a young woman. These are my breasts. What can I do? And she agreed. She was like, for a woman at your age, you should not be suffering with self-consciousness so severely. I'm going to recommend you to physical therapy, and maybe your insurance can cover a breast reduction. So boom, started going to physical therapy, went to physical therapy for about 6 to 8 weeks. And I was like, okay, pay my copay of $40 every time. I was like, it's gonna come through. It's what we doing. It's gonna be great. Finished PT, got a full report, sent the physical therapy report over to insurance. I was like, please, Jesus. I was like, please, dear Lord, please, please, baby, 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 please, 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 please approve me. And so said, so done. I got approved for a breast reduction in 2018. So boom, June 2018, I went to the hospital for my pre-op. They did the blood work. They, made sure I was in good physical health. They got me tested for everything, and they were preparing me. And I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. I can't believe this is happening. I cannot believe the moment I have been waiting for well over a decade. Going on 2 decades, because since age 10, I've had severe hate for my breast. Since age 10, this moment was about to arrive. Hallelujah. So everything is done, is finished. They gave me, my little send home package from the pre-op. Get ready in a week, you'll have your new breasts. Tell me why. I need y'all to tell me why. Tell me why the registered nurse at my pre-op, she called and told me,
yeah, so it seems here that you're pregnant.
Okay, but we're still gonna go through with it. When I tell you, I wanted to laugh and cry at this. Like, I wanted to hysterically laugh and hysterically bawl at the same time, because this had to be a joke. This is a whole joke. You're telling me the moment I've been waiting for my entire life, at the pre-op, I find out I'm pregnant. You playing with me. So after I swallowed that hard pill, I welcomed my baby boy in 2019, my second son. And I was like, okay, time to breastfeed. Once again, I had a huge supply of milk. So blessed and grateful in that sense. But all I wanted to do was hurry up and lose weight, lose as much weight as possible so I could be in tip-top shape for the breast reduction again, because I'm not giving up. I wasn't gonna give up. By that time, all the things that happened so perfectly before didn't happen perfectly again. I couldn't find the doctors to approve my breast reduction again. I couldn't find the right plan to get approved for the breast reduction. It was just like nothing was lining up anymore. At that point, I'd lost a lot of weight after my second pregnancy, and so my breasts weren't as full, and I didn't even qualify for a breast reduction anymore. I just had all this excess tissue, all this sagging excess tissue, but not really any volume anymore, no mass. So at that point, I was no longer qualifying for a reduction. I needed a breast lift. Because honestly, the size I was at that point, after everything was said and done, after I was done breastfeeding, after I'd lost weight, I was a 36 double D, but I had a lot of excess tissue. Then the panorama hit in 2020. I gained a whole bunch of weight back because obviously there's no structure anymore. There's no more, going to the gym. Everybody's in a panic. We're all worried. We're stressed. Money, social life is gone. Routine is gone. Stay-at-home mom life. And we ended up running upstate New York from New York City. That is me, my former partner, children, and even carried my mom along. She came later on. And we moved upstate. And upstate is where my life really changed. Here and now. I ended up starting alternate day fasting up here and lost well over 65 pounds on my 5'10" frame. I left a relationship that didn't benefit me. I got a new job and I really started going hard with YouTube again, and I'm able to now afford my first home and live an independent lifestyle, which was beautiful. But what was also beautiful was last year in 2021, for my birthday, I ended up stopping in a surgeon's office. After I lost my 65 pounds, I had just flaps for breast. I couldn't take it anymore. So on my birthday, on November, I remember this day, I was like, I'm gonna go see. November 5th, 2021, I walked into Dr. Fugo's office, and Dr. Fugo is like the top surgeon in this area, plastic surgeon in this area, and I just wanted to get a quote. so I could at least save or know how much to expect and how the time frame when could this possibly happen, because I'm not dealing with Medicaid, I'm not dealing with insurance, I'm not dealing with approvals, I'm not dealing with none of that no more. Just let me shell out the cash and have my happiness, please. Okay, please, baby, please. But I lost so much weight, I had nothing left, y'all. I had nothing left. It was just 2 flaps on my chest, 2 granny flaps. They were granny flaps. Ashamed as hell of them. And I'm saying that as real as possible. I hated my breasts. So I ended up seeing Dr. Fugo. He is wonderful, charismatic, charming, handsome, wonderful man. And he just put me at ease about everything, told me this is what you do, this is what we get, and this is how much it costs, this is what it's looking like. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. How much did it come up to? It was like $8K. It was around $8K for the procedure. That was in November. And so he was saying that he is totally booked out until January 2022. I just want them off my chest now. So I take my quote, take my information, about to walk out of his office. Tell me why the front receptionist was like, wait. I was like, huh? Who, me? And she's like, yes, Dr. Fugo has something to tell you. Okay. Dr. Fugo was like,
something just opened up next week.
And I was like, book it. Got that care credit going. Let's boogie. 1 week after I walked into that office, expecting months before I would even be considered for the surgery, I was going under the next week, Friday to Friday. You cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. Let me tell you something. When it is for you, it will never pass you by. It'll never pass you by. That day at the pre-op, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, okay. God wanted me to have another baby, give my older son a sibling, feed one Mogian. That wasn't my time. And I came to peace with that. That's why I was able to get over it so quickly. A shock. But I was able to get over it quickly because I knew that wasn't my time. Either something would have happened to me on the table, or something would have went wrong, or I could have gotten pregnant right after the surgery. How horrible would that have been? So at that moment, when Dr. Fugo said, something opened up, I was scared to death. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to death because for one, I've never had like a major surgery before, and for two, I was like, oh my God, this is really gonna happen. Who am I gonna be with new titties? Who's Colleen without loathing her breast? So, but I took it. I took the chance. I did it. I had a breast lift and removed a fair amount of excess tissue. I went from a 38H in April of 2021 to I'm currently a 36D, and I love her. Dr. Fugo just like really changed a lot of my life. I feel feminine, I feel confident, I'm able to run, wear bralettes and even non-underwire bras, and wear cute tops and sexy dresses and not worry about bras. And it was truly life-changing for me to do the breast lift. More so than anything, it has changed me for the better. So the truth after weight loss is that your breast will deflate. Depending on your genetics, how much breast tissue you will need to have gone, it's truly dependent on hereditary. I genetically have thin skin, poor elasticity, mushy, soft skin. It's not firm naturally. And so will I probably have to relift in the future? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. That's my truth. Will that have to be for you? Not necessarily. There are women that have lost weight, kept their breast firmness. There are women that do exercises and have re-perked up their breasts. And there are women like me that had to undergo a mommy makeover of sorts to regain their youthful breast position and or confidence. And however that plays out for you personally, that's your route to joy, because we as women have a very tender relationship with our breasts. Our breasts mean a lot to us, just like our hair. Our hair and our breasts as women, it's like almost defining characteristics. And it's not that they define who you are as a woman. We just have a very strong bond to them as far as femininity goes and womanhood goes. Will your breast deflate after weight loss? Most likely yes, because breasts are essentially made of fat. And when you lose fat, fat is going to be lost from your entire body, and that includes your breasts. Depends on how large or how small your breasts are, how much you will lose, but there's a likelihood that yes, the titties will deflate. And if you're like me and had big old chimichangas, they're gonna deflate a lot and you're gonna be left with a lot of excess tissue. It's up to you to decide how you wanna live your life. I did not wanna live my life being afraid to take off my top, not being able to wear a two-piece, being limited in stores and shopping, and not being able to access fashion because of how my breasts looked, how embarrassed I was. And nobody in the world could have told me that my breasts look good, because I would never believe them. And that's all that mattered to me, was how I felt, and I fixed that shit. I fixed it, and now I'm walking around with my titties, just bouncing, behaving, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So this also will apply to any other part of yourself after the weight loss journey. After you've lost a lot of weight, there may be excess skin. I have excess skin on my tummy. Makes me a little self-conscious, but not as self-conscious as my breasts. Like my breasts since age 10 were a problem for me. My tummy, I had 2 babies. They're like, I lost weight. It is what it is. Does it stop me from bagging a man? No, I don't. But this is the reality of weight loss. You may have excess skin. How you choose to deal with it is on you, but just know that this is my reality and how I chose to deal with my excess skin for my breasts. I don't regret it one moment, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I currently feel so much better. There's so much weight off my shoulders. I had the indentations. I had the back pain. I couldn't run. I was just miserable. Other than the aesthetics, like I was overall miserable. Losing weight will reduce and or even stop those symptoms of shoulder dents and poor posture. I have wonderful posture now. My posture is banging. And that was because I lost weight and I lifted myself. So if you're choosing to go that route, I wish you the best. And that was my story. If you have a story of your breast reduction and or lift after weight loss, please share it down below so we can all read it. It will be very encouraging to those that are thinking about going that path, that route, and looking for solutions and how to deal with their excess skin after weight loss. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.